Good evening. Welcome to FAMS NewsBite. I'm Anne Clark, and making the headlines in this week's news: Solomons celebrate 225 years in business. First tour ship of the season arrives. Sports fishing on Island steps up a gear. We tour the New Horizons haunted house, and highlights from this week's football. Solomon & Company was founded in November 1790, which makes this year their 225th anniversary, and Solomons have begun celebrating with special offers. To start the celebrations, there was a small launch in the Star with a large cake, which was cut by Saint Helena's oldest resident, Ma Flo. There were also tasters from Solomon's Butchery and Bakery. Solomon CEO Mandy Peters gave a speech on the history of Solomons and how the company has grown over the years. She spoke of the milestones reached by Solomons and the relationships between the founder, Saul Solomon, and Napoleon Bonaparte. Continuing with the celebrations, Solomons will have special offers and competitions throughout November. The cruise ship MV Amadia spent several hours in James Bay. Her 500-odd passengers walked the streets of Jamestown and toured the countryside. Most of those who came ashore were German-speaking, and the language barrier seemed to cause some confusion. Amphibian Spa had set up and was serving food and drink on the Grand Parade alongside live music and a small market.
Take a look at yourself. Why you accuse me? Take a look at yourself.
Many tourists were happy to stay in Jamestown, and dozens of them went up and down Jacob's Ladder. Tourism told us that the day had gone very well at first glance. Feedback has also been good. They will now be looking forward to the next of the season's cruise ship, the MS Mariner. But as the Amadia sailed off into the sunset, her passengers were surely looking forward to their next destination. Egalite is a new sports fishing vessel purchased by Keith and Craig Young. The Young family have had links with the private sector on St Helena for many years. The Blue Lantern Hotel now sits where Reg Young's motors once stood, and the family owns a diving business, Into the Blue, as well as a multi-purpose boat, Starlight. Craig Young's dream is to be able to put a brochure in an international magazine which says, "Come to St Helena, we can offer you accommodation, scuba diving, a hire drive car, and sports fishing, among other things." The purchase of the new boat is the latest step in turning this dream into reality.
I'm on board here, Egalite, with Craig, Keith, and Reg Young. So guys, this is a new sport fishing vessel, so maybe I'll start with you first, Keith. What prompted you to actually, purchase such an amazing boat and to try sport fishing in St Helena?
Well, first of all, Damien, it's been a dream for me. Sports fishing is one of the things I've always been very, very interested in. And as you know, we've been doing quite a bit of sports fishing with our other boat, Starlight. And we thought we need to up our game, knowing that we got an airport coming, an international airport, knowing that this is already working on Ascension Island. We've decided to step it up a gear. And both myself, Craig, and my dad, we thought that, given the business that we are in at the moment, offering tourists a bigger variety of activities. As you know, we're currently in the diving. Craig is in the diving. We've got the hotel, we've got the cars, we've now gone up our game into sports fishing, and we just think it's part of a big package that we can offer.
Okay. And you, Craig, I was speaking to you now about the actual boat, Egalite. Just give us a little bit of a background or information about what this boat can actually do.
Well, it's probably one of the first real type of sports fishing boats that Saint Helena has seen. As you see, the space is divided to accommodation, deck for sports fishing. Up the bow area, you got the area where you can for sleeping quarters, sleeping accommodation. So you offer the client comfort, especially if you do long runs for marlin or go offshore a few miles. You can have a barbecue on the back, you can catch fish, you can go inside. If it rains, you're sheltered. If you're tired, you want to go sleep, you can go sleep. There's toilet facilities. There's a fly bridge upstairs where it's ideal for marlin fishing, which is all around the world. Boats have fly bridges. The best thing about the boat, well, I feel, is it's got 2 engines. She's fitted with 2 Caterpillar engines, which are very, very reliable. They are practically still brand new. And she has all the power you need, although we're not going to use all that power. But she can quite easily get you up to 30 knots, and the reliability and the comfort.
Okay. And you're Rich. It's a family business. I mean, I know that you've been into business here on St Helena for quite a long time. How do you feel about this new venture that you as a family have set up?
Well, this venture is actually between Keith and Craig. It's something that the island does need, and it's an improvement. I mean, we've got to go ahead here with the airport coming, and I take my hat off to both of them for doing this.
Is there any interest being shown in doing such tours so far?
Well, I think a lot of people have come through the arch and seen the big fly bridge boat standing at the back of the bay. We've had quite a bit of an inquiry with regards a lot of contract workers here on the island wanting to know when are we going to do our first trip. So yes, there is something in the pipeline in the near future. Obviously we're waiting for better water. We're waiting for probably the better time is from mid-November towards the end of November, where fishing will actually start picking up. So, at the end of the day, we want to give the client their best experience, and there's been a lot of interest, and obviously we want to do a trial run first, make sure everything is running sweet. It's still, Craig and I need to get very familiarized. We need to familiarize ourselves with a lot of things still on board, so we know where's what. It's a new toy, so there has been a lot of interest, Damien.
Well, before she came over, she had to go through a full SAMHSA certification. So she's got what they call a COF, Certificate of Fitness, where the boat was put on the slip, all the shafts were drawn, the rudders everything was basically taken apart, installed with new bushings and bearings. The whole entire boat was inspected by SAMHSA, and she's been issued that certificate.
The inspection is held for 2 years.
So that's valid for 2 years.
All right.
And it's more than enough for St Helena.
Okay.
We also carry a liability insurance, where she's fully insured, as well as the passengers that travel on her, and that is international waters.
How would you guys sell such a trip to somebody who's watching this?
Well, all I can say is you need to go on board to experience. That's all I can say. She drives like a dream.
Both Craig and Keith will continue to familiarise themselves with their own new boat and hope to offer game fishing trips to the seamounts by late November. As part of a Halloween celebration, New Horizons held their Halloween family night out at the King's Community Centre last Saturday night. Most of the actors in the haunted house were New Horizon members. Inside the house were fearsome scenes of a graveyard, a creepy toy room, and an area where zombies were chained up. SAMS toured the haunted house to see just how scary it was. Warning, the following video contains flashing images and scenes that some younger viewers may find disturbing. The event was well attended and people said it was the scariest one yet. New Horizons thought over 500 people went to the event, with 266 brave people going into the haunted house. Here now though is Liam Yan with big news and a roundup of last week's footballing action.
Thanks, Anne. The local football league came to a close this week with the final 3 games played over the weekend. On Saturday, Bellboys did what they failed to do a few weeks back and finished 4-2 victors over the Crystal Rangers. As he has done in previous seasons, Damian Stevens is finding his form at the wrong end of the campaign as he bagged himself a brace for the Bellboys, with their other goals coming from Shane Benjamin and a David Young own goal. On the scoresheet for Crystal Rangers were youngsters Jordan Johnson and Cody Thomas. Bellboys defender Philip Francis was named man of the match. The final game of the season was battled between 2013 champions Wirebirds and brand new team Wolves. The Wolves have not won or even drawn a match this season, but they have improved with each game and ended the season with their best performance. Wirebirds picked up the win by 5-3 thanks to a hat-trick from young Corey Sipu and goals from Joseph Ace Langwani and Tapelo Poo. But Wolves will be happy after goals from Rico Coleman, Reece Francis and Ayrton Harris ensured them their highest scoreline of the season. Here now though is this week's feature game. Hearts were named 2015 League Champions on Sunday after a closely contested 2-0 win over Raiders. Raiders were fast to score when informed striker Dane Liu used his searing pace to bypass the defence and fire home. Hearts then upped their tempo in search of an equaliser with creative passes from the midfield, seeking out Shane Stroud at the point of the attack. They eventually drew level via a Rico Williams half volley following this cross from Ryan George. Keeper Rick was unlucky to see his good save bounce back and in off the upright. Raiders almost took the lead again soon after following this corner from captain Greg Phillips. Calamity in the box saw a header from Buckley hit the frame of the goal. Hearts continued to pressure for a second goal and came close, but for smart defending from Tony Liu to keep the score level. Colin Young then had a golden opportunity to put Hearts in the lead after a touch from Stroud put him through on goal. Definitely not the finish needed. Jan was to make up for his earlier mistake though, with this classy inch-perfect cross, which saw captain Mikey Williams head home for the lead. Get up, Colin. Jan's strike at the end of the half failed to beat keeper Rick, who was in inspiring form on Sunday. Despite many attempts, Hearts could not extend their lead, though they came very close at times. This well-weighted pass from Stroud to Owen was destined to end up in the back of the net, but for an excellent save from Thomas tipping it onto the post. Williams then tried a Chico special that almost caught Thomas off guard. The final chance of the game fell to Crowley with this powerful header that flew back off the upright. Nevertheless, Hearts got the win and the title of 2015 champions. Well done, boys. And so that brings the 2015 SHFA League to a close. Hearts have been crowned champions after 7 long years of settling for runners-up. The boys in blue played the best football this season and were over the moon after finishing top of the table on 50 points, 1 point clear of second place Rovers. Chop Shop boys will be happy with their performance this year, finishing third on 36 points, closely followed by Wirebirds on 33. In the individual honours, Rovers' Rico Benjamin tops the Hot Shots chart with 36 goals, closely followed by Chop Shop's Kevin Hudson on 34. Rico also leads the way in man of the matches with 6. His nearest competitors are teammate Clayton Benjamin, Chop Shop's Kevin Hudson and Alonso Henry, and also Wirebirds' Rick Joshua, all on 4 games each. All teams will now look forward to the Knockout Cup competition, and until next week, I am Liam Yan. Back to you, Anne.
Thank you, Liam. That brings us to the end of this week's edition of SAMS NewsBite. I'm Anne Clark. Thank you all for watching.